So in this video, I'm going to explain how to create the two-dimensional features like slot, spline, conic curve and patterns, circular pattern and rectangular pattern. These things I want to explain in this video. Now let us first you have to enter into the sketcher mode. Click this icon, create sketch icon and select the particular plane. Now I selected this plane. Now I want to create whatever the 2D the features you want to draw. In the last video I explained all these line, rectangle, circle and rectangle different features, all these things. Okay, and these things are already explained in the last class. Now let us see that from the slot. Now we want to create the slots. There is a different options are available in the slot. One is the center to center slot, overall slot and center point slot, 3-point arc slot and center point arc slot. Now let us see one by one how we can going to create these slots. Center to center slot. You need to specify the center point. Now here it is one center point and this is the second center point. And with the center points, then you can select any point on the slot, then you can obtain this slot. Now you can see that this is the slot. For clear visibility, I want to switch off the constraints. Now let us see that these constraints I want to switch off so that it is easy to create the slot. This is the one, the feature of the slot, that is the center to center. Now let us see that overall slot. How we can create the overall slot? You can create this linear slot defined by orientation, length and width. These things are required. Orientation, length and width. Specify the start and end on the slot center line. Click to specify slot width or enter diameter of the slot arcs. Now let us see that here, now I want to create this overall slot. I selected here. Now once the cursor is moving here, select starting point. Now I am going to select the starting point. Then that orientation. So that what inclination you want that slot. That within inclination you can enter this both angle and length also. So this is the end point. Then you can specify the point on the slot. Okay, now you can see that with what the width of between the two lines that we need to define here by means of this curve. So like using this option, at any orientation you can create the slot. So that is the feature of overall slot. Next we see the center point slot. This center point slot you can define by the center point, location of the slot arc centers and by slot width. Specify the slot center and place center of slot arc. Click to specify slot width or enter diameter of the slot arc. You can able to draw. Now let us see that this center plot slot how we can create. Now let us keeping this is the point, select the center. Then you can see the select the second point where you want, you can select the second point. Then you can create the point on the slot. So now here this is the 3 points, you can see that here. So that slot will be obtained center point slot. Next 3-point arc, you want to create the slot in arc fashion. Then you can use this feature, that is the 3-point arc slot. Now you can see, you click, this is the first point and this is the second point and this is the any third point you can specify. Now let us see that this is the third point. Then you can adjust that what is the width required. Then you can create. Now you can see that this is the way of creating the slot in circular fashion using this feature. It's a very advantage. That the 3-point arc slot. Next, center point arc slot. Now you can define the center point. Now specify this is the selector center point of the arc. Then you can create the start point of the arc. Now wherever you want. Suppose I want this is the start point and this is the whatever you want. You can create the second end point. Then you can adjust the width of the slot. Then you can create the slot. Okay. So now these are the different possibilities you can create. So these are the 5 ways you can create that is the center to center slot, overall slot, center point slot and 3-point arc slot and center point arc slot. I hope you understand how you can going to create slots in Fusion 360. Now let us see that another feature. I want to remove all these things. Then we'll go for the next one. The slot is over. Now spline. Here through the two ways you have to create the spline. One is the fit point spline and second one is the control point spline. Now let us see that the fit point spline. How we can going to draw the fit point spline. Now we can select this any starting point. Now the ending point. Okay, not ending, that in between what are the points you want, you can create, like you can any number of points you can create, or if you want to close this to the starting point, you can bring to the starting point, you can specify, then close it and click OK. Now this is the way you can create the splines. Now you can clearly observe here there is a at each point, at each control point, there is a tangent lines are visible. These tangent lines are used to further you can reshape the curve. Now let us I want to reshape this curve. Now you can see that if you move this cursor, if you move this cursor as per requirement of the shape of the curve, the curve will be readjusted. Likewise, you take any point, you can adjust any point and you can obtain this shape of the curve. Like you can see that you can adjust. It's freely you can obtain the required shape of the curve. You can able to draw using this feature. Okay. Now let us see the next one. I want to undo. Then I'll go for the spline. There is a control point spline. So the control points, there is a different control points not on the car, that away from the car are provided. Now see that this is the one control point and this is the another control point. Okay. So this is the one another control point and this is the another control point. Like the any number of control points you can create, then you can click OK. Okay. Now we want to further, you can reshape that curve. Just simply can pull this point. Now you can pull this point where the shape you want to adjust, you can adjust. Okay, like this you can any shape you can adjust. So this curve also like this. So using these control points, you can adjust the shape of the curve. It's very easy to create your required shape of the curve using this spline icon. It's very advantage of drawing the curvatures which are not possible either using the arcs or ellipse or circle. Other than that, you can use this spline, you can create your requirement. Next, we will see the conic. Then first, I will undo these the features. Now select this one. Okay. Then go for the conic curve. So create a curve driven by endpoints and Rho value. So depending on the Rho value, the curve can be elliptical, parabolic or hyperbolic. So these three curves, they depend upon value. You can create the elliptical curve, parabolic curve or hyperbolic curve. Select the start point, end point and then the top of the vertex. Use the guidelines to create tangency constraints. So specify the Rho value for the desired shape of the conic curve. Now let us see that. Now you can create, if you don't know anything, just keep the mouse here and see that that will be highlighted. Place first point on the conic curve. Click this one, it's the first point. Now place the second point on the conic curve. Next we will see that place the vertex point of the conic curve. Now let us, this is the vertex point. Okay. Then you can enter the value. Now let us, for example, this is the 0.75. Then click. So this conic curve will be obtained. Now you can readjust this also, like earlier the spline, how you can readjust by moving these points wherever you want. You can like this, see that how it will be required, that yeah, as per the required profile shape you can create by using this the feature, that conic curve feature also. Okay, I already explained the last video, point and text and mirror. Now let us coming to the patterns. Let us first undo these things. Now go for the pattern. First we will go for the circular pattern. So before going to the pattern, what object you want to create in a fashion. Now let us see the circular pattern. I want to create the circle in a 6 number. So now before that feature you need to draw. Now let us, I want to draw the circle. Okay. Now this is the circle I created. Now I want to make the circle into the 8 number around the circular arc. Then you can go for the pattern, that is the circular pattern. If you select the circular pattern, you can see that here the circular pattern icon. Object, first you have to select the object. Okay, now here it's highlighted. If you choose this one, it's selected. Here it's displaying one arc is selected. Next, center point, select the center point. So center point, before that you want to create the, excuse me, the center point you can create. Excuse me. So this point you can create here. Now let us created. This is the center point. Then you can. So before go for this pattern, you can create the feature and center point. First select the feature, then select the center point. Then how many number you want, that you can enter here. I want here 6. 6 numbers are obtained. Okay. Now distribution. Then click OK. So all 6 are created. If you see that fit for the all will be created. So this is the way you can create the pattern in the circular patterns. Next I will see the rectangular pattern. And similarly for the rectangular pattern also, rectangle pattern, first we have to draw the diagram. Okay, now let us first create this simple rectangular feature. This rectangular feature I want to create. Click OK. Now let us, I want to remove the constraints for clear visibility. Okay. Now we want to move in a pattern in a horizontal and vertical. That is go for the rectangular pattern. Select the object and this entire object you can select. Okay. Selected the direction can select, distribution, okay, and quantity, how many you can enter in each row and column. Let us, I want to enter the 4. Okay, then that 4 you can, and simply you can drag on. Now let us first we'll see move in the downward direction for easy understand. Now you can drag on this. Okay, that 4 numbers will be moving like this. And similarly for the vertical direction also. Okay, here it is 3 members. So here quantity is written. See here the quantity for the um, for column wise and the row wise. The row quantity 3 is given for a direction. Okay, and distances. This distance also, if you want any distance, let us, I want the distance is 100 exactly. Then you can enter. Okay, with 100 the pattern will be created. It's also how it is simple to how you are simple to create the how you are simple to create the patterns. So using this icon, it's very much useful for creating the rectangle, whatever object it will be obtained. So I hope everyone can understand how the patterns are created using this fusion physics. So for these things, you require more practice. So you need to practice more and more. So once you are confident about any 2D features, then it very much useful for creating the 3D object. I will explain in the next coming videos how can develop the 3Ds by using 3D models by using the 2D features. I hope everyone can understand. Thank you.